right, welcome in everybody. Saturday morning, so you know what time that is. Paid for Play, the college sports hour show from Daily Bread Media, sponsored and powered by PickCity.com. Make sure to follow them on Twitter at PickCity and make sure to check them out on their websites if you like to be purchasing any VIP packages. But as we said, the usual crew, except for I'm stepping in for Sam today. We got Goose and JD with us. Goose is thriving and feeling great. JD, as usual, bright and early. So grab your coffee like I did, throw in your AirPods and go walk your dog. Do whatever you need to do. This is your college sports power hour, whatever you want to call it. I wouldn't try to do a power hour at 10 a.m., but if that's your style, it's your style. We'll never hate on it. We got college basketball coming up soon, so this channel will also be utilized for that as well. So everything college sports that you need, paid for play, is your outlet. Make sure to hop over to the YouTube channel if you want to drop your best bets. Get in with the comments. I'll be monitoring Twitter to the best that I can, but YouTube is the way to be featured on the show. Goose, Rutgers is off this week, correct? So you just got a little nice, relaxing Saturday for you.
Yeah, and it's got to be the first Saturday I have all football season with no plans until 7 p.m., but that's okay. I'm thriving right now. I can't wait to watch some games, sit on my couch. I'm fired up.
JD, how you doing? You bright and awake, or should we just start with player props to get you going?
No, I think I'm feeling pretty good. I think I've said this a few times. Like, I can't sleep before Saturday. I don't know what it is. I'm badly in need of, like, last night I didn't the Washington game because I knew, who's going to stay up for that. So I should be nice, but then I woke up at 2:30 in the morning and couldn't go back to sleep. So I've just been staring at this ugly slate ever since. But it's not a great betting card in my opinion. It's not a great DFS card. But we're going to find some spots, and I'm kind of glad because now I can sit back and USC Notre Dame. I always enjoy watching every second of that game as a Notre Dame fan. So I'm just going to more sitting back today, less actual.
All right, so your nice little welcome in for everyone. JD will be right back. Just probably getting some nice little internet issues. I just tweeted out the YouTube link. I saw Goose tweeted out the YouTube link as well. So if you guys are ready to rock and roll, so are we. We got 7 main games we're going to run through today. And then as usual, we'll give out our personal cards at the end. We might have a surprise guest picker join us when he feels so privy. And, we're always on his time in this type of the world. But little sneak peek, make sure you stay around. Maybe we'll get a hungry dog to appear as well throughout the show. But there's first game that we're going to get into. We're not hating on the noon slate purposely, but all of our games are starting at 3:30 or 7 o'clock hour. So sorry, noon slate. We'll definitely have bets on you, but we're starting with the 3:30 slate of games. So the first one we're going to get into is, I don't know who wants to bet on this one. Probably Goose does. So the ACC guy, we got, you can't even call him fraudulent Clemson anymore. You just got, 2,000 Clemson's traveling into at Pitt ranked. Who would have thought this was coming at the beginning of the season? Let's hear about this one.
Yeah, so I want to start off by saying that people have seen Mike Means on Twitter, Mike Means Jr. He does a top 10 group, and I personally have ranked Pitt 8th in my most recent top 10. I'm a big believer in Pitt. Kenny Pickett has been great. Their coach has been great. They both, I feel like, have the reputation to slip up throughout their career. But this season, they've been very efficient, except that Western Michigan game. But I feel like it's just now or never for Clemson. I feel like every week we say that. They start off as a top 3 ranked team. They get blown out by Georgia. They lose to NC State. They barely cover against teams like Syracuse. Not barely win. They don't even cover. They're 0-7 against the spread. And I just feel like this is Pitt's biggest game, Kenny Pickett's biggest game of his career, almost, I'd say. Clemson isn't the world beaters, but they're still Clemson, and they still have the size, they still have the talent. They're just not performing. So if I had to pick a money line side, I'd probably lean Pitt, but I have a whole field goal and a half, and I think I want to lean Clemson for this game because I get that field goal and a half. I get DJ Uyunglele, who's played against teams like Georgia, played in big games, and then there's Kenny Pickett on the other side who's performing really well. I just don't know how he'll be under the pressure, so I'm going to go with Clemson today.
JD, who are you rocking with in this matchup that I don't want to touch from a side perspective?
Yeah, I'm not touching it from a side. Could only look to unders in Clemson games, but didn't play it. I think Pitt's biggest weakness, like I mentioned last week, is I don't think their secondary is very good. I think you can beat them with the pass, especially the deep pass. Western Michigan did it over and over again. But there's no way I could say Clemson. I trust them to do that. And I don't think Clemson's going to run the ball very well. They haven't done that in 2 years. So I think it's going to be a close back and forth game. And I said last week, listen, but I Pat Narduzzi. Like I don't see anything. They've crushed a couple cans and they beat a hurt Virginia Tech team that has dud performances all the time. So no strong lean for me. I guess if you're giving me 3.5 points, that's the way I would look, and I would lean under. But nothing strong on this one.
I just Clemson wanted to be the hungry dog today, but I just think I just don't want to be getting involved in a team that can't run the ball whatsoever. And that's probably been one of Clemson's biggest things that's kept them back from being one of their powerhouses and currently has them unranked. I mean, you can make DJ isn't the best accurate, isn't the best manager of the game, and does make some silly mistakes. But when you're solely relying on him and can't even gain more than like 3.5 to 4 rushing yards per attempt, especially in the ACC, that's not Clemson. They have running backs getting drafted in the first or second round the past few years. And then this year, they have the Shipley in there, the freshman. So it seems like this is just going to be a growing year, pain year, as we see it from these big programs. But, JD, you would be leaning towards the under here because I just think at this point we could potentially see – I just think this game goes over in a gross fashion.
We could, but, I mean, Pitt plays at a pretty high tempo is the thing. Like, they're probably going to score – 20 points at the very least. So while I lean under, that's the reason I'm not going to play it. Like a team that plays that high of a tempo, getting anytime they get a total in the 40s. Yes, it's nothing strong for me, Rex.
Yeah, there's just better games to be betting on today and to be talking about. So now you always got to get the little appetizer going. And now we'll give the viewers one of the big games of the day. Probably the one I might be most looking forward to other than the last game that we get into, Pac-12 action. Hope you didn't watch Washington versus Arizona last night. I know JD was saying that he kind of gave off that one and then went into 17.5 spread, and Arizona just stinks. Let's not talk about them. Let's talk about the two powerhouses right now. Oregon going into UCLA, and you got technically the lines are telling you Oregon's a 2-point favorite. That's why UCLA is laying -1. JD, tell me what to see about this matchup.
Yeah, I know I'm a little biased because obviously I pulled for Oregon, if you don't know that. But I'm pretty sure I'd say I'm confident. But did I bet it? Maybe, but I wouldn't admit to it as someone who pulls for Oregon. We haven't really seen anything from this Oregon team to make us confident. Like they haven't really proven they're good at anything. They're solid everywhere. They have good athletes. They're well coached, but they're not dominant at any one thing. We know they want to run the ball, but I think UCLA is better at defending the run. And I also think they're much better running the ball offensively. And UCLA's biggest weakness is their secondary is awful. I think it's ranked 122nd in the country, but it's up there. And Anthony Brown's the lowest rated quarterback in the Pac-12. So pretty strong lean for UCLA, but I can't get out here and give a full pick because I don't do my teams dirty like that. But yeah, strongly leaning UCLA.
Goose, Who are we liking in this 3:30 game?
So sidewise, I want to take a step away. I think both of these teams are very talented teams. I think I like how Oregon controls the ball. Anthony Brown has been very check down y. He's not turning the ball over. I really like that from him, but he's not doing much with it. Ultimately, I like the under. The line started at 57.5 and it got pushed up to 60.5. So bettors are thinking over. At 60.5, I'm gonna play the under. I think I think this UCLA team, while they're coached by Chip Kelly, I feel like they run the ball. I feel like they value possessions now. I feel like he's matured. I feel like also this is a high pressure game. It's Chip Kelly versus Oregon, where he's made his name. I think the pressure. I think the running games. I think Oregon's run defense. They're very fast on defense. They were able to play with Ohio State early in CJ Stroud's career. I think 60.5 is just too many points, and I lean the under for this one. Not lean. I'm going to play the under for this one. This will be an official play for me.
One thing to help with that, Goose, I like to give out the explosive metrics on here. I don't have it pulled up for this game, but neither offense is explosive at all. So I had to write up this game for coverage.com if you want to check it out. But yeah, I give out the under too because both teams like to run the ball and they're not really explosive. So there's explosive players, there's good athletes. They could happen, but it sounds to me like the clock's gonna be running in this one.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the biggest ways that you can get points up and on bunches against UCLA, and the way we've seen it is you have to just attack the cornerbacks. Like you said, that's where UCLA's weak point is. And that's where Anthony Brown just hasn't proved it yet. They're somewhere between 80 and 90th passing offense, probably in the nation. So that's just where they're relying on that rushing attack, and that's probably not the worst strategy going against UCLA, even though you'd rather be passing it. My concern with the under not cashing is we saw it. This has a Ohio State, Oregon feel to me, where I think it's going to be back and forth, and it's going to be if DRT and the skill players that are the best ranked in the Pac-12, how frequently can they move it against them? Cristobal, who has the coaching advantage here? That's my toughest part. Or is it equally balanced where Chip has a little bit on the offense and Cristobal has the defense? Or that was where I was thinking is because in this game, I want to be siding with the better coach. And I think it has to be Chip at this point, as wild as it sounds.
Yeah. I think the better recruit.
Sorry, I think that's what Goose was saying. Yeah, off the field, it's by far Cristobal, but he's not a fantastic in-game coach. I would still give Chip the slight edge for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's why I'm rocking with. We're gonna keep riding out the Kelly train. UCLA -1, -110. That's where I'm gonna be rocking with this one. You can probably bet it live, but I just want to get some UCLA action down. First official play of the stream for me. All right, let's get into our next game. Got to show some respect to the Big 12, even though who the hell knows what's going to be going on in that conference next season. They might not get as much if they're going to be bringing up some of those teams that they're speaking about. But the Pokes going to Iowa State here. We'll go to Goose here. What are you liking in this one?
I'm not. Like is a hard word for this game. This is just such a weird game. Oklahoma State keeps beating the teams that are in front of them. They just go in and they beat Texas, and now they're a 7-point dog to an unranked but very talented Iowa State team. I know they came in with a lot of hype, but this game right here reminds me of the Iowa State game. I see a slow tempo game. I see a physical game. What's up, Sosa? And I just see I like the +7 in this one because I don't respect Brock Purdy. Every time he's in a big spot, I feel like he disappoints. I feel like he's the guy who has been announced as a first-round quarterback for 3 seasons. In every big game, I every big game that I watch personally, I feel like he chokes. I was on Iowa State when they played Iowa. I referenced that game because I see this playing the same way. I think Oklahoma State's going to slow the game down. They don't turn the ball over as much recently. I think their run game will keep them in it, and I like Oklahoma State to cover the +7.
Sosa, welcome. How are you doing on this lovely morning?
I'm doing all right, man. How y'all feeling this today? JD, Goose, how y'all doing today? Good?
Feeling amazing, man.
Ready to get to some paper? Y'all talking about this Oklahoma State game? Listen, Oklahoma State not going to lose till they play Oklahoma, if they play Oklahoma. I think that the Big 12 has two teams now that and it's always like this too when they have like two teams that are supposed to win. Once the mill runs out and it's like two teams that are undefeated, those two teams usually run the table. I honestly believe that Oklahoma State got the best defense in the Big 12. I think the only problem is their quarterback stinks. Sanders sucks. Sanders is terrible, bro. Holy shit. Like, if you watched him last week, you're trying to figure out how the fuck they even won the game. It's like this guy is the defense pulls through every week. Like 3 weeks, was it 4 weeks ago when they went to a month ago today when they went to Boise? Was that Rex? That was Rex's dog of the week that week. But they're better coached. They got a better defense. I like what Goose just said. I like him with the points. I mean, Brock Purdy, you can't trust him. The only reason this line is like this is because Iowa State performs better at home, and they play on natural grass. Oklahoma State has played a lot slower on natural grass this year. When they play on turf, like when they played against Baylor and they played last week, the offense maneuvers at a higher rate. But on grass, a little different. That's just one of them like weird, things. So, but I still like them with the 7 points personally. That's just me.
JD, you got any thoughts on this one if you haven't given them out yet?
Not much to add. I just want to say, well, we can't trust Brock Purdy. I don't think he's ever lost a game in October. It's Brocktober season. So, no,
Yep.
I agree with most points. I'll never bet against Oklahoma State as a dog. I don't want to say never, but almost never. The Bear put out a stat. I think they're 13-3 against the spread in their last 16 as a dog. So if you're giving me 7 points, that's the only way I could look, but no bet for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 7. That's tough. It's just better games to bet on today. I mean, not much better in quality-wise, but in this type of game where you only get one more time to rock Brocktober in his career. Sorry, I almost went Brock Lobster. Bring back Osweiler, the king of getting the bag. He didn't fumble no bag, as Michael Means is saying. Just call him up. You'll figure it out. Get a nice contract from the Texans.
Him and Matt Flynn are like for all-time first-team members of the Ski Mask team. They're the all Ski Mask team. They literally robbed NFL franchises blind, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Sam Bradford.
All right.
At least he was a first round.
Sosa going to get that one. I know why Sam is going to the IU Ohio State game. I think the real reason why he ain't here, he does not want to talk about the sissy blues that he's about to see go up and down the field on Coach O. You had what I would say is when your coach gets fired or resigns, there's two ways the team reacts the first week. Fold it in, or they get up and motivate for one last time. And in this game, they got their motivation game out of the way here. Real easy. Lay the 7.5 with the Rebels. Buy it down to a 7 if you want it. This game's going to get ugly. It's going to get ugly quick. This is where we're going to see the LSU turn down. They got up for Coach O one last time. I just don't know how LSU can stick and put up with the points that Ole Miss can do. So I just think Ole Miss runs them today. 7.5 minus 110.
I have a question. What is Matt Corral's status? How hurt is he? And the reason I ask is because are they gonna go up by 21 and pull him and LSU backdoor covers?
Could. But I don't know, man. The lane train, it ain't stopping today. This LSU team, I just think is dead in the water. I mean, I'm not trying to buy into an Ole Miss defense that has some life compared to last year, but by no means am I confident or stable in that. So that backdoor is always available with it. But I just think they're going to run it up. We took the Rebels first half earlier in the season. If you, to Goose's point, that could be the smarter and the more strategic way to attack this one. But I'm just laying the 7.5. Full game. I just think this game should be more around 11 or 12 points from a projected spread that I see. So the corral's bringing it down a little bit, but we're rocking with it. Anyone got any plays on this one, or is Rex the only one rocking the SEC, stepping in for Sam just as he would like?
I'm waiting for them.
I said my piece. I don't know. I don't have much of a feel on this one. I do worry about the quarterback health. And so I'm just going to stay away completely. I don't know how healthy. I don't even know if he's hurt at all. Like I don't want any part of this game because Matt Corral is that dude. Maybe they rush him less or lean on the rushing more. So I'm going to stay away from this one with his interesting status.
Yeah. If you guys listen to the show, you know I have a rule. I don't bet against Ole Miss this season. This would definitely be a strong play for me, Rex. But, yeah, the health has me worried. They have two of their top wide receivers are out. Top tight end out. Backup tight end's coming back from a pretty gruesome injury. Corral, yeah, they haven't really said Goose. I think it's probably gamesmanship by Kiffin because he pretty much said he was doubtful earlier in the week, but I don't really know if we're believing that. Like, I think he's probably going to play. So, yeah, that's the only way I could look. But I do have a play in this game on a player prop. We're going to take Tyrion Davis price, running back for LSU. It's at over 89.5 rushing yards over at FanDuel. So we're going to go ahead and take that over. He has over 400 rushing yards in his last two games. This LSU team, they seem to just have found a new identity where they're just going to hand the ball off. He has 58 carries in his last two games, and this Ole Miss defense is no good. So that's my strongest play on this one.
Fuck that orange guy, bro. He's gone. Ain't no win one for the Gipper going down today. That's not happening. All right? Yeah, that's all. -7.
Yep.
Win one for the Gipper. They're fucking celebrating. Are you kidding me? They worked out a deal before the season even ended. They said, bro, listen, you're gone. Come on. They're looking for the new guy. It might be Lane Kiffin. I'm just saying. -7. Come on, man. I don't care if Matt Corral's not starting quarterback. I think the system's too strong. They're down everyone in the secondary, 2 All-American corners. I think LSU already got their win. I think they already got their bit. That was the last game. That was the one where it was like, damn, LSU is going to get smoked. And then we saw, they came on, they won the game. This is where they go back to their normal selves and get bent over. That's just my personal opinion. You're going to get it. The team total is going to fluctuate based on Corral, but I don't care. I think they put up 40. Even if they give up 40, I think they put up 40, especially after going under last week. Lane's one of those guys. Lane looks at the spreads and shit like that. I know y'all know that. Lane knows when you don't cover. He knows. And I think today's one of those days.
Well, when the boosters know that, you go, hey, I got a little bit more of a paycheck because I know my boosters bet us to cover the spread. I can get them a little bit extra money in their pocket, so therefore it's going to trickle down to me in some sort of the lane train. It's going to keep rolling. Sorry, Sam. This is perfect time for him not to be here, but I know he'd probably be real sad anyway. So,
he's actually happy as shit.
This is your special. Yeah, because Coach O's out, but he's sad that the program's back. Dead, but it's kind of like the Birds. Like, you'll give anything for the championship ones. So let's get into Goose's special.
LSU never dies. They just LSU never dies. They just change coaches and pray that they get a quarterback because they're going to get everything else to show up to that school. They just don't get quarterbacks.
Goose, Nevada at Fresno State. You wanted to get into some Mountain West action. Let's hear it.
Yeah, I think this is college football right here. Like, Mountain West, two offensive teams, two great quarterbacks, two draftable quarterbacks. I'm really excited about this game. It's a 7 p.m. game, and Nevada is the dog, 3.5-point dog. And I've been riding them all year. I feel like I gave them out twice on this show, even, and I think Carson Strong is the real deal. The receivers are 6'3", 6'4", and 6'5". They can't run the ball at all. So that's why I like this game. Like, they throw the ball. They have to pretty much every play. Their running game is just non-existent. And the difference with Nevada and Fresno State is um, Nevada doesn't turn the ball over, and Fresno State is prone to some turnovers. I think with this kind of explosive offense, with not turning the ball over, I think Nevada's going to go into Fresno and get the upset. I think this is a huge game because in the Mountain West, these two teams are both in the Western Conference with San Diego. If Nevada can win, they still have San Diego on their schedule. They can control their destiny and get to the Mountain West Championship. So, I'm going to lean with Nevada for this one. I think even though they don't have a running game at all to speak, one-dimensional.
Y'all know how I feel about Fresno. That they'll never get $1 of my money bet on them ever in any sport. Their school is dead to me. They're dead. They fucked up the chicken so many times this year, bro. All that hype. Oh, we got NFL receivers and our quarterback. They fucking stink, man. As far as a gambling standpoint, they might win some games, but not getting my money. I'm with you with Nevada too. I think, like you just said, their quarterback's the real deal. He's better than Hayner. What is it, Hayner? Is that his name from Fresno? Right. He's a bitch. I'm with you 100%. Goose. Yeah, Carson Strong. He's the show.
JD, you got anything for us in this one?
Yeah, I don't know how I followed that up, but I actually do like Fresno. I've been on Nevada a few times. I think this is a close game. I couldn't get to Fresno State with the 3.5. I don't buy points. If I had it at 3, I'd probably bet at 2.5. Definitely would, but I don't buy points. I don't think long term. That's something you should be doing very often. So I just think Fresno, their statistical profile, so that's mainly what I look at, is really good. And they have the D line, they're going to sack Carson Strong. They've held teams to under 50% completing passes on the year, which if you're playing a team like Nevada where all they do is pass, you're probably not going to hold them under 50. But I don't know. And most teams, how Nevada wins, they don't have a running game. They're just better at throwing the ball all over the yard. But are they really that much better at throwing the ball over the yard than Fresno? I don't know. But 3.5, no bet for me. But I'm not an anti-Fresno State take by any means. I'm a pretty big fan of them this year.
I have to throw this caveat out there. This pick has nothing to do with analytics or for me at all or anything like that. So you're probably 100% right when you're talking about any metric because, like I said, people have been telling me they got a quarterback that's going to play on Sunday. They got a couple of receivers and the talent's there. But from a gambling standpoint, man, they don't cost me so much bread this year that it's like a spiteful play. I hope they lose, that I'm betting on the other team. So that's just, yeah, you're right. The stats are there because they have NFL players, but something about performing and covering spreads or getting you 33 points when you scored 25 in the first half, stuff like that. It's annoying.
Yeah, and the biggest thing and the reason why I'm staying off of this game, the line, is it still sitting straight at flat 3, 3.5 now. So they're barely saying Fresno State is barely favored on neutral in this game. I just think that's wrong. I think Fresno should be a 6 to 7 to 8 point favorite. But what Sosa has said, when they get onto the field, shit just hits the fan with this squad recently. They've looked some games where they pulled off a nice upset and they look like the competent team that would be top 25. And then they've played down to competition in the other games. So with Nevada coming in, I think this is a game that Fresno will get up for with the 64-point total. If you had to make me pick an angle on this one, I would probably just go with the points and go with the over because I think both teams are just going to be able to move it. Even with Jalen Strong or with Strong getting sacked, I still think they're going to be able to move the ball against Fresno's defense, but no official play in this one. Goose, you said this is a FS2 special, so I don't know how many people get Fox Sports 2, but if you want to see two of the stronger sides in the Mountain West, get your eyes over there on your second or third screen. All right, 2 more games to get into before we run through our full card. We're running at 30 minutes, so make sure to give us that like, give us that subscribe on the YouTube channels, give us a retweet and a follow on our Twitter page. As we said, this will be our outlet for college basketball as well coming forward. So this channel is about to be busy because we're in the prime time of sports. We got an SEC matchup and then a rivalry game coming at you. So you want to be sticking around for these last 2 games. We got Tennessee at Alabama. Hyped it all up for a 20 some odd, 25, 26, 27 point spread. Does the Bama beatdown continue after the loss or someone? I mean, I talked up Texas A&M that one week. I tried to talk myself into Tennessee all I could here. It's not many ways I see Tennessee any bit competing in this game. Someone tell me why Tennessee will.
They won't. I think after last week, that embarrassing loss to the way they lost to Ole Miss with the fans, with the crowd, and now they're going into a rivalry. What is this? It's the 3rd Saturday in October game. It's the Victory Cigar game. It's the Mac Jones with the Victory Cigar game. I see a big beatdown coming. I think Alabama minus 14.5 first half. The first half spread is going to go on another run. I think Alabama minus 25. I think the way Tennessee lost last week, and with Alabama already having 1 loss, like they're ready to go back to being dominant. Bryce Young still has a Heisman chance. I think he might even be a top 2 betting odds wise. I think he'll get some touchdowns, pad some stats.
I'm down for a sweaty bet today.
You guys sound ecstatic to be hyping up Hooker if he potentially is playing.
I got a sweaty bet for the people today. You can roll with me if you want. You could stay at home or go to church if you're scared. I'm on the Tennessee team total over 21.5 at plus 105. Yes, I know it's Alabama, but I always put my money where my mouth is. I'm a huge Josh Heupel guy. Josh Heupel's going to get me 24 points. He might give up 60. You're going to get me 21.5 today. just like we sweated it out last week with UCF against Cincinnati. I told you we get them 17 points. Now we got them 17 points in like the 58th minute of the game, but we got it.
Doesn't matter when.
It's going to be the same case tonight. If you're down to sweat, rock with me. That's my play. That's my play off top. JD?
I don't really want to spend too much time on Tennessee because I got nothing positive to say. But no, so that's the only way I could look. Is the only reason I'm not like lining up to bet Bama is the only thing we know about Heupel is he's going to try to go out there and score points. So if you're giving him that huge 25 points with the back door, that's why I'm staying away. But yeah, I got nothing positive to say about Tennessee. I don't think they're good. I don't think their coaches are good. I don't think their fans or anything to speak of. Clearly, yeah, I got nothing good to say.
Yikes! You don't like Heupel?
I like him for fantasy and for scoring points, but I mean that UCF program was headed downwards under his watch, and somehow he got an SEC job out of it. Like, come on.
Ooh, that's tough. Downhill. The quarterbacks were made of paper mache. Oh boy, that hurts you. I'm a big Heupel guy. I think he's a genius. I'm an idiot. This hurts. This hurts.
No, his offense is like that's the one thing we know. They're going to score points, and there's some teams that have been out there for years and haven't figured out how to score any damn points. And you need to score points to win. So no, I'll give him that. He's for sure. He's a bright offensive mind for sure. I just don't think like SEC coach the whole team like this. It's not going to end well. I don't think. But
They got to get a defense in there because they can't stop anyone. And obviously that's what it comes down to in the SEC, right? There are certain teams that the defenses are just elite. They're next. I mean, and when I say elite, they're just next level. Georgia's defense is next level. They're the best unit in all of college football. And in this day and age of college football, there's not too many units like that. There's 2 or 3 all over. I thought Iowa was one of them, but they let Purdue just, I don't know what the hell I was watching last week because I thought Iowa's defense was an SEC defense. The back end, at least, the secondary is insane. But I guess that's the thing with SEC football. Like, you could score points, but you're going to have to defend. Like, the best teams really play defense, and they go and get the ball. That's the thing about the SEC. It's you just like you said, Heupel is going to be able to put up points anywhere he goes. Is he going to be able to get any guys to play defense? So that's going to be the biggest thing there for him.
All right. So, Goose, you ready to combat? We don't have to be it, but close your ears if you don't like the Irish. It's going to be the Notre Dame fan section time with Sosa and JD going nuts down here. USC at Notre Dame, one of the best games out there. We got the swag on from JD, so let's let the Irish fans start talking
green and gold
first.
This was by design.
It looks blue.
I'm going to let you go first, JD, for sure. Because I know you're,
All right. There's nothing positive to say about USC. Pretty much what I just said about Tennessee, most of it would apply. Not much positive to say about anything at all involved in that program or how they've handled their business. I don't have a strong take here. I think Notre Dame's for sure the rightful favorite. Kind of like when we're saying with Iowa State, like you get 7 points. It's really hard to take a favorite like that for me. But there's no way I could look at USC. All they have is Drake London. He's been one of the best wide receivers in college football. The one reason I'd be worried here, because I do think their quarterback Keaton Slovis, I think he gets really scared in the pocket. I think he's scared to push the ball downfield, and I think it's really hurt their offense. I think that's a team that should be scoring 40 every single game with the athletes they have. So the one reason I am concerned is I think Notre Dame could get after the quarterback. We've seen they can do that. They always have good defensive front. The insiders at USC think Jackson Dart's going to play in this game. I don't know whether he's going to start. That has me a little worried as an Irish fan because Keaton Slovis doesn't really worry that much. So now watch me say that, and Slovis is going to throw 4 touchdowns on us. But Keaton Slovis doesn't worry me. We've seen him. We know what we can do there. We'll get pressure on him. Who cares? He's just going to look at Drake London's way before he gets sacked. That's pretty much all he does as a quarterback. It's his backyard football. But Jackson Dart might play, and Jackson Dart brings an explosive element that has me a little scared. And then Notre Dame's going to rotate quarterbacks too. So you're handicapping a game where you might have both teams rotating quarterbacks. Makes it crazy for me. I'm just going to sit back and watch, but I really hope we stomp all over USC, kick them while they're down. The interim coach in there, it's nothing good going on. So this is a game that Notre Dame absolutely should, at home, should take care of business convincingly.
I like what he said. Kick them while they're down. I like your style. I think we do the same thing. I am not. We did all that build up to give you no picks on the game, because like he just said, like JD just said, Notre Dame might not just play 2 quarterbacks. They might play 3. All right, and just like he said, the other team might play 2. Again, it's impossible. This game is a 7.5 point line because the game's in South Bend and because of everything JD just said. Interim head coach. They got 1 superstar player on the offense. If it's in a vacuum, it's pretty easy to pick Notre Dame to cover the 7.5 in this one, dude. Bet just structurally, as far as just everything in regards to the program, it's just we're just a better program right now. There's nothing you could say good. This is the only motivation right here is beat your rival on the road. Like, and it's, well, they don't have the talent to do it. So if gun to my head, I would take Notre Dame to cover the 7.5 at home. But I said, so no, it's a stay away from me. If you are betting it, I would bet it confidently. If you are, Goose, Rex, what y'all like? You can't take an under with Notre Dame right now, or USC, because we've given up points and we've scored, and vice versa for both teams. So it's to give out an under where it's, if this number was like 61, maybe, but it's what, at 50. What is it? 55, 56,
59.
59.
right? Right. If it was 2 more points, I might, but nah, I can't. No, not doing it.
I think USC is the most hot and cold team in the nation. I'm just looking at the box score. I haven't watched them play, to be honest, but like, win by 23, lose by 14, win by 31, lose by 18. Like, they haven't played in a single possession game. They haven't played in a single digit game. And I think that's going to help Notre Dame in this case. Like, how are they going to perform in the fourth quarter? How are they going to perform when they need that big drive? I don't see it. And I see Notre Dame covering late. I lean that way. I'm going to stay away, but I lean Notre Dame because I think in the last like 4 minutes, they go up by like 11 or something.
Man, I was about to say, I want it because on my book right now, I still have it at a flat 7, minus 110 for Notre Dame, and a minus 3.5 for minus 115 on the first half. I'm a lot more confident on the first half just because Kelly should be able to come out here and whip it from the beginning. At home, there's no way you should not have a touchdown lead going into halftime. Second half, they could probably fight back with that 7-point spread there, but that's just kind of where Notre Dame should come out and roll. So we're laying the first half minus 3, minus 115. We'll see what happens in the full game. But if you're scared, go to church, as Sosa likes to say. Notre Dame's going to come out hot in the first half. Who the hell knows what's in the second? All right. That is the games that we had covered that you should be watching today. As we know, it's a little bit of a grosser slate, but let's rattle through our personal cards. We might have some plays on games where we didn't get the cover yet, but let's get through our cards. Goose, you can give us your card first. Rattle off the full what you're rocking with for the full games today.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with Clemson. I'm gonna trust them. Plus 3.5. That's the biggest factor for me. I get the field goal, so I'm gonna go with Clemson plus 3.5. Oregon, UCLA. I'm gonna rock with the under 60.5. We discussed. I think it's gonna be a running clock. Nevada plus 3.5. I'm going another dog, a road dog, slight road dog. Nevada plus 3.5. I think they get the dub. I'm gonna go with Alabama minus 25. It's the rivalry. You know, Alabama won't put their foot on the brakes. They want that victory cigar. And the one game we didn't discuss on, TCU minus 4.5. They play West Virginia, and it's more of a fade on West Virginia.
All right, JD. Prize picks. Is there any of your usual player prop stuff you want to give out? Then let's rattle through your card right here.
Yeah, I'll try not to take too long on this one here. So basically, if you're playing DFS, it's an ugly slate, just like the betting slate. So don't get the ugliness. Just stick to what's not ugly, and there's some good running backs on the slate. So just start with your running backs, and then we'll go with Kansas State because they're playing Texas Tech. I apparently have more Kansas State love today than I envisioned having because I like them on DraftKings a lot. Skylar Thompson, their quarterback's only 6,000 in Texas Tech. I mean, they give up 70 points to Texas, so they're no good at all. So yeah, I'm leaning them on DraftKings, and then load up on the running backs. You got Bryce Williams is only 5,400. He's the new running back from Minnesota, and they like to give their running back 20 plus carries. And Maryland stinks, folks. Not a Maryland fan myself, so that's what I'm looking at for DraftKings. Looking at Prize Picks, I think last week we either hit 4 or 5. I give out a lot of prize picks, but we had another good week. Here's what we're going with. We're going with Pitt's running back. Good luck saying this one. It looks like Abracadabra or Anaconda. Abinaconda.
That's it. That's it. You got it. That's the name. Abinaconda. Yep, that's the name.
Abinaconda not going to get a touchdown. We're going under 0.5. They can't run the ball and they're playing Clemson. Corbin, running back, Florida State, over 92.5 rushing yards. They're playing UMass. Oh, my gosh. Jakari Roberson, over 15 fantasy points, wide receiver, Wake Forest. Army, good team. Love Army. They don't have a very good secondary. King Daru, running back, Purdue. We're going under 9.5 fantasy points. Why? Purdue can't run the ball. Wisconsin, yeah, folks, they can stop the run pretty well. In case you haven't noticed the last 10 years, you haven't been paying attention. And then we're going Ty Freifogel. This one's a little risky. We're going over 12.5 fantasy points. Ohio State's not their defense isn't good, and Indiana's going to be playing from behind all game, and he's their only wide receiver they got doing anything. So those are the prize picks. Hopefully we go 5-5, get some 10x. If you're not on prize picks, man, the lines are nice and juicy for us. All right, now I got my card. So we got everything going here. I don't know if now I'm all spiced up. We got player props. I'm going TDP. I already mentioned him, LSU's running back. There's a 76.5 over-under. This guy has 400-plus yards in his last 2 games, and yet somehow they're giving us the over-under prop at 89. Yeah, we're taking that over. Kansas State, like I said, apparently I'm a Kansas State guy. I don't know what's going on, but their last 3 games, they've played Iowa State, Oklahoma State, and Oklahoma, and their metrics still look pretty similar to Texas Tech, who's just over there getting blown out by teams that aren't even good. They're losing to. So, yeah, Kansas State money line -108. We're taking BYU -4.5 against Washington State. This one, yeah, we're locked in now. You got me rolling. I don't see how I can't fade Washington State right now. I get their teams looks pretty good. They've won 3 straight in the Pac-12. Well, who else has won 3 straight in the Pac-12? That's BYU. They've already beaten 3 Pac-12 teams. Washington State is already 0-2 against the state of Utah, and BYU is the best team in Utah. They've already proved that. They've already beaten the other 2 Utah teams. So we're getting a short line here because BYU's looked soft in the last couple of games. That's not true. BYU is a well-coached program, and Washington State's not even a coached program at all because they don't have any coaches. They had Rolovich and 4 coaches gone. So BYU -4.5. And last but not least, Western Kentucky -15. They're playing Florida International. They have no defense at all. Western Kentucky has all the offense in the world. All we know about this game is that Western Kentucky is going to score over 40 points, maybe even over 50. So if you're giving me -15, Florida International is no good. So we're just going to hope they don't score enough points to cover. That's the card.
Let's go.
I like.
How do I follow that?
That's why I said at the beginning of the show, we should just make him do his DFS and prize picks and everything.
What? He's activated now. I'm gonna start. You know what? To trump what you're doing. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going Tennessee money line. Just kidding, man. I'm not an idiot. I'm not doing that at all. I got 2 more team totals for the people. I like Texas A&M over 31.5 against South Carolina. South Carolina's defenses, but JD just alluded to this. Indiana's going to be playing from behind the entire game. I like Ohio State to put up 40 at -110 against Indiana. I think their offense is explosive. I don't like the quarterback, but those 2 plays look beautiful. And I'm on the Notre Dame team total. Yep. Over 34.5 +100. Those are my 3 plays that I'm giving up. I like to keep it short. JD just gave out like 15 winners. Goose gave out like 6 or 7. And obviously we all know what Rex does. So I don't want to bog y'all down. I appreciate y'all bringing me on today. I know your the fourth member was, he's really ducking smoke. That's really what's going on. But we're gonna let him enjoy his Saturday. Rex, it's on you, my boy. Rex. Blink twice.
No, I froze. Okay. My bad. I'm here now.
Blink twice if you're cool. Are you in distress?
Right. We ready for the 6-pack?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I don't know. You guys started freezing at the bottom, so I was just chilling, letting you talk. UCLA -1, -110. Ole Miss, -7.5, -110. Notre Dame, first half, -3.5, -115. Those are the three you heard during the show. Now here comes the last three that were not given out. The show was Louisville, BC, over 57.5. Neither of these teams like to play defense. The ball is going to be moving the whole time. We're taking the over here. Goose, we're not going the money line here, but we're back in the Owls of Temple, +2, -110 at South Florida tonight. The Owls will go over 500 and be 4-3 this season. And now your hungry dog of the weekend, the U money line at home, +145. NC State's rolling in here. You have projections saying NC State should be 10-point favorites. You have other projections saying the U should be favorites. De'Aaron King won't be there, but we don't care. The U, they will win at home today. Manny Diaz, let's get it. The U money line, +145. Ruby is here because she knows the dog is hungry tonight.
Let's cash. Let's cash.
She knew what was up. She knew the hungry dog was coming. Had to make sure she got her 2 times a week. She got on daily bread once this week, so she'll probably make one tomorrow too. I'm thinking, where's Honey Bear, man?
All right. Pay for play. Make sure you are following all of us on Twitter, checking out Goose up top, write some articles as well. Make sure you check out JD. He's all over the Twitter sphere now. He's with covers. He's with us. He's writing prize picks. Check him out for all your DFS, fantasy, anything college football needs. And then you know who Sosa and I are. You'll see our ugly mug tomorrow. Anyone want to say anything before we sign off?
Let's cash. Positive vibes only.
Let's get this money, man.
All right. We appreciate all of you. Give us the like, give us a subscribe on YouTube, and we'll catch you guys next Saturday.